Soccer is the least talented sport. It is not exactly clear to us what Dana White, the president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, USC, has been doing over the past month. However, if his most recent statements are any indication, he has not been taking in an excessive amount of World Cup action. A video footage of White has recently been rediscovered in which he expresses his opinions on the beautiful game. Let's just say that when it comes to football, or soccer as he refers to it, Dana White has left the conversation. According to White, I can't stand soccer. In my opinion, it is the sport that has the least amount of talent on the entire planet. There's a good reason why children as young as 3 may play soccer. While you are running around, you kick a ball. After White had finished his original summary of the most popular sport in the world, he was interrupted by someone who suggested that he would not repeat his opinion in Brazil, which is a country that is obsessed with football. However, White once again disagreed with this suggestion. "You wouldn't say that if you were in Brazil, dude, I'd say this in any country ever," he remarked in response. "Is it possible that you are citing me right now when you are playing a game in which the net is this big and the score is 3-1? Do you even know how untalented you have to be to score 3 points when the net is this big?" The comments made by White have been brought to light at an unfortunate time. And this is not just because the World Cup, which is the most important athletic event in the world and is watched by about half of the world's population, is still going on. Also, his remarks have appeared at the same time as the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, is signing a huge sponsorship deal with La Liga, the highest level of football competition in Spain, to cross-promote their respective sports all over the world. We imagine that there are some potentially embarrassing conversations taking place in the boardroom. As the deputy digital editor at Men's Health UK, Daniel does his job. In addition to being a writer and editor, he has 10 years of expertise covering topics related to sports technology, fitness, and health. From the mental health of black men to The Rock's cheat days, he has written about a wide range of topics during his tenure at Men's Health. Additionally, he has logged training time with athletes from the National Football League, Olympic gymnasts, and individuals from the British Army. His spare time is spent engaging in various forms of physical activity, ranging from deadlifts to long runs, and he is constantly searching for the next challenge that he can take on. A remark such as soccer is the least talented sport should be investigated and discussed in greater depth. Even though it can appear to be an easy assertion, it is essential to take into consideration several different aspects before concluding. Presented below is a comprehensive note that delves into several facets of this statement. 1. The concept of talent itself is subjective and complex. This is part of the subjectivity of talent. The term talent in the context of athletics can refer to a wide range of characteristics, including technical ability, physical abilities, operational comprehension, and mental toughness. Depending on the parameters that are used to describe talent, it is possible to determine which sport requires the least amount of talent. Skill requirements in soccer. A sport of soccer requires a wide variety of talents such as dribbling, passing, shooting, controlling the ball, having tactical awareness, and working together as a team. The mastery of these talents at a high level requires devotion, practice, and intrinsic aptitude, even though it may not require specialized equipment as certain other sports do. Physical demands. Even though some people believe that soccer requires less physical prowess than other sports, such as American football or basketball, it nevertheless requires a great amount of athleticism. For players to be successful in competition, especially at higher levels of the sport, they need to possess speed, agility, endurance, and strength. Global participation and competition. Soccer is a competition that is played all over the world and has a tremendous amount of popularity. Because there are millions of players all over the world, the competition for professional possibilities is stiff. To achieve success at the highest levels of soccer, it is not enough to simply possess talent. One must also possess tenacity, resilience, and the ability to distinguish themselves from a large pool of players. Technical excellence and creativity. On the pitch, soccer frequently recognizes and honors players who demonstrate both technical expertise and creative ability. To demonstrate their skill, players are required to demonstrate flair, improvisation, and strategic intelligence. These are all examples of manifestations of talent. Soccer is profoundly interwoven in the cultural fabric of many regions throughout the world and serves as a unifying factor. This is one of the reasons why soccer is considered to have cultural significance. Not only does the level of emotion and dedication demonstrated by players and fans alike highlight the relevance of the sport, but it also challenges the perception that it requires less talent than other sports. Global recognition of talent. Soccer is the sport that is home to some of the most well-known athletes in the world who are recognized for their extraordinary abilities and achievements. Icons such as Pelé, Maradona, Messi, and Ronaldo have transcended the sport of soccer, exhibiting remarkable talent and pushing the sport to levels of notoriety and admiration that have never been seen before. Dana White has never demonstrated a strong passion for the sport of soccer. We are aware of that. For years, White has asserted that the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, and mixed martial arts in general will one day become the most popular sport in the entire globe. To answer your question, yes, it does include football or soccer, for those of you who are reading this article from a location outside of North America in that mix. In a moment, we will examine this assertion. However, before we do so, let us listen to what White had to say in an interview which took place yesterday with the Calgary Sun. I am not a passionate fan of hockey. However, I have a lot of respect for the talent that is required to play hockey. Is it soccer? That is a completely different ball. Not a fan of soccer at all. A sport with the least amount of talent on the planet. There's a good reason why children as young as 3 may play soccer. Do you think you're joking with me when you're playing a game in which the net is that big and the score is 31, and that's a blowout? You are aware of how without talent you would need to be to score 3 times when the net is that large, right? First, let's take a look at White's claim that the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, will become more popular than soccer. This is not going to take place. The only sport that truly crosses borders is soccer. The National Football League, the National Basketball Association, and the Ultimate Fighting Championship are not even close to being more popular than this sport. It is not even a competition. There were almost 99.2 million people who watched at least 6 minutes of World Cup play during the round of 16 during the 2010 World Cup. In addition, more than 700 million people watched the final match between Spain and the Netherlands on television. 700 million people are in the world. That is an amazing amount of people. In addition, although I believe that the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, will continue to flourish over the next quarter of a century, I just cannot conceive of a scenario in which 700 million people tune in to watch a UFC bout even if it is shown on free television around the world. But what about White's assertion that soccer is the sport with the least amount of talent in the world? The statement sounds like it was made by someone who has no idea what they are talking about when it comes to soccer. I would freely admit that earlier in my life, I had a similar mentality. My opinion was that soccer was a lousy and uninteresting sport. Then, however, I started watching it, and I realized that similar to mixed martial arts, there are many layers to a soccer game. When you grasp what is going on, your appreciation of the matches increases. Dan is a man who is full of passion. In addition to being the most influential promoter in the sport, he is also a tremendous fan. And the fact that he is a fan is something that is made clear when he makes statements such as this one. Although he is incorrect, it is not harmful to have dreams. The conclusion is that although the assertion that soccer is the least talented sport may be made from a specific point of view, a thorough examination exposes the complexity and richness of skill that exists within the sport. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos. In the comments section of the post, please tell me how many you discovered.